is going to be a hindrance through this process of birth. So everything that's not going to help this child come forth has got to leave. Okay? All the hell that you've been going through that is not going to help the process of the birthing of the seed on the inside, got to leave the room. All the hurt that you've been harboring, that's not going to help the process of you birthing this baby, got to leave the room. All the torment that's been tormenting mind, body, and soul that don't help the process of this baby come forth, you got to leave the room, because life is getting ready to happen in here. So then she said to me, she said, well, this was a woman doctor. She said to me, she said, what you want to do? I said, well, I just want to cut the cord. I don't know nothing about all that. You tell me what to do. So I began to, the thing that amazed me was, I went up on the side of her, up on the room. I went up here where she was. And so when I went up here where she was, I said to her, I said, listen, I was holding her hand and I was talking to her and I was encouraging her through it. Now check this out. I bet you can do it. You can make it. But here's the amazing thing. She already had a nurse or a midwife that was on this side of her who had her hand that was in her ear. I was on this side saying, baby, you can do it. Push our baby up. This is our seed. She wasn't paying no attention to me. I can't get no help. But she was listening to the midwife, Jesus, who was on her ear saying, it's time to push. You can't abort him. Now, I was on this side. Now, check this out. The doctor, God, told me, look, you can't be up there and be down here. So since Jesus is covered and given her guidance through what to do, you come down here and stay in position so that you can cut the cord. So what has happened is, I can't get no help. So what has happened is, when the doctor came in the room, not only did he push everything, not only did she push any and everything out of the room that did not look like life, or push any and everything out of the room that was going to come against life, but then the doctor set order in the room. See, because order has to happen before life can begin. And so it don't do no good for us to have a life come when there's no order. So the doctor told her, when the doctor walked in the room, the nurse looked at the doctor and said, are we ready? The doctor said, not yet. See, because when the doctor tells the nurse we're ready, then the nurse begins to tell her to push. So when the nurse asked the doctor, are we ready? The doctor said, not yet, because I need to get these things in order. I need to get my little instrument table together so that when the umbilical, when the baby comes out, I can cut the umbilical cord, and to get my suction together so I can clean out the throat and the nose. I need to get everything together. I need to get my life in order. I need to make sure that she is properly in position and that her feet are in the stirrup. I need to make sure that everything is in place so that when life steps in the room, we can greet it as such as it is. Because when anytime life steps in the room, there's such a glow, there's such a vibrant. Anytime life steps in the room, there's such a change in an atmosphere. I can't get no help. Anytime life steps in the room, there's such a birthing change. There's such a reproduction in the atmosphere. Anytime life shows up, when life shows up, this means my miracle is here. So as I said, the doctor sets order in the room. He makes the room conducive to a miracle. He says, listen, everybody, you got to get out of here. If you're not for this, you're against it. I understand this, your mama. We had to tell our children. As a matter of fact, the doctor told me, I understand this is mama, but you got to go out in the room. Go out there in the waiting area. Go with your aunties and cousins, because right up in here, we got to make the atmosphere. We got to make the atmosphere conducive to a miracle. See, I need the atmosphere conducive to a miracle, because the thing about it is, if somebody or something is, or if a germ or something is in the room, it can cause the life that's being birthed into the atmosphere. I can't get no help in here. So what has happened is, as God establishes order, he makes the room, or he makes the order, he makes the area conducive closer to the miracle that now you have to produce in the end. So now the doctor has established the order of the room. He's got everything out of the way that could potentially stop or harm. Then he got his instruments in order. He pulled his light down. He made sure that she was in position. Then he looked at the nurse, Jesus, and said, now we can push. He looked at her and said, talk to her in her ear. And see, the thing that amazes me is the midnight never talks to her face to face. The nurse never got in her face. The nurse never addressed her ear to ear. The nurse never said anything to her face to face. Excuse me. The nurse pushed everything out of her and got right here. Because I don't need to see you here. I need to deal with the intellect. Because the more I talk to you on the inside, the more I'm talking to what's on the inside. So when I tell you to push, I'm telling this come forth. I can't get no help. I'm not just telling her to push for the sake of her pushing, but I'm speaking to what's in the womb and saying come forth. So as the midwife got here and said, now it's time for you to push. The more he said push, I can't get no help. Let me say it like this. Push came in the ear, it transformed in the mind, and by the time it got to the womb, it's saying come forth. So when he said push here, come forth was heard here. And so the midwife began to tell, I can't get no help, okay? Let me say it like this. The midwife, or Jesus, who's in the position of the midwife, began to say push. Push, 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 push. And God was standing there, and he said, I don't see nothing yet. Keep talking to her, keep talking to her. And so as Jesus kept saying push, 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 the baby heard come forth. Come forth, come forth. I can't get no help. Push, 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 push. Come forth, come forth, come forth. Push, 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 push. Come forth, come forth. Then after a while, all of a sudden, the doctor got in position and said, I see something coming. See, I see something that I didn't see before. I can't get no help in here. See, the doctor crowned it. They call it this. They say, I see the baby crown. I see the crown. I see the head. I see the head only. I don't see much, but I see light coming. I see the head. Push, push, push. But see, the thing that amazes me is we have to understand that there is a spiritual connotation or spiritual revelation that comes along. See, if I understand it, then the more I say push, and the more I say push to the womb says come forth. Did not Jesus speak spiritually after Lazarus was dead? And he stepped down. He stepped out of humanity, stepped into deity, went over into spirituality, and said, Lazarus, come forth. I can't get no. See, the thing that we have to understand is when Christ or when God is telling us push and we hear come forth, it is simply the deity that lies therein of Jesus Christ, who is stepped into the spiritual realm and begins to speak to what he's birthed on the inside of us. And so when he says entrepreneur, when he says push, we hear entrepreneur come forth. When he says